we feed the reports, and we actually up all the time to ensure that whatever that concern the people are dealt with accordingly.
All right, and if we may narrow it down to the committee that you chair, the Committee on Inland Waterways, what would you say you have been up to? What have you been able to put together this past few years?
Well, you know, inland waterways, like you are aware, we have what they call road transport, we have what they call air transport, and we have water transport. Basically, inland waterways, we're trying to see how we can make our inland waterway navigable and in such a way and manner that our citizens can also be able to travel through water without much danger, risks, and issue of mishap. So before my assumption or as chairman of Inland Waterways, one of the news that was very rampant was the issue of boat mishap. And sometime in a month you hear that up to 2, 3, 4 times. But when we came on board, we tried to put measures in place to ensure that we reduce that ugly incident to a minimal level. And of course, before my inception too, there has been this controversy, the conflict between the Lagos State government and that of national, that's federal government, on who actually have the right to control the inland waterways, and that we've been able to look at it and come to a compromise on that issue as we speak, and that issue was adequately addressed, and so that issue is no longer this. And so inland waterways, as an authority, we are living up to task, we are living up to our responsibility. But again, I can tell you that one of the most viable resources any country can have is inland water. And but to be honest, Nigeria as a country, we have not been able to. Of course, it's huge. Like road construction is capital intensive. Even for a country to comfortably operate airway and airport, is also quite demanding. So also with the water transportation. So what we have been agitating for all this while is to see how we can ask the federal government to prioritize, or better still, give the kind of attention they are giving to these other two means of transportation. They can even give 50% of it to inland waterways. I think it will go a long way to address our transportation issue. Because if you put a lot of resources and make our inland waters navigable, we have not been able to even make use of up to 30% of what we have. By the time that is put in place, I can tell you it's cheaper for people, the people who live within the river area, they find it, they will definitely find movement quite easy and all that. So that we are on it, but generally speaking, we've been able to deal with the issue and the issue of life jacket, and we're also making arrangements to ensure that modern boats are also made available to fishing out the local boat that, of course, majorly has been the cause of the boat mishap. And a lot of construction of jetties here and there. As I speak, there's jetties in Ocholonya. As I speak, there's also a jetty construction going on in Oweto. And across the whole country, we ensure that those things are put in place to make transportation within our inland waterways quite conducive. And but I can assure you it's a long-term project, and we cannot just finish in a day. But we are on our toes to ensure that we bring a lot of innovation to that sector. Thank you.
Indeed, people are really looking forward to how water transportation can be better accessible, affordable. There are just different metrics that people are looking at. And then also, I would like to know how you collaborate with other agencies, that are involved in servicing water transportation to ensure that, for instance, even when these tools are made available, that passengers and the boat operators actually use them. And beyond that, that whoever violates, whoever refuses, to abide by the law are actually dealt with. How do you collaborate with these agencies to get this done?
Yeah, thank you. That's a very nice question. Like I told you earlier, water transportation is just like a road transport system or airway or what have you. And when you are on the road, there are what they call road safety, there are what they call police, there are what they call VIO and all of that. All of those people are also in place to ensure that they checkmate how, whether the vehicle you are using is roadworthy and whether the driver is actually an expert enough to begin to drive that. So we also have similar arrangement within the waterways. And then, of course, there's even a bill that is in place. We are trying to see how we can expand the security within the sector. So that is where we have a service of Navy and so many other things. So, but I can tell you what we are having majorly that's a challenge is we have what they call shortage of manpower. But with the bill we are putting in place, we'll be able to give room for more hands to be brought into the system so that, of course, we can, beyond checking the worthiness of the boat and even the drivers, the boat captain, we should be able to see the issue of thief. There are some people who hang around the water to also, commit some crime. So, and of course, in where I'm from, which is Apaga Tufel constituency, we have a lot of inland waterways around that area, and then sometimes some criminals take advantage of this thing to see how they can also cross over to commit some crime. There are some armed headmen that will usually want to come, and when they come, they commit some crime and then look for it to exit. By the time we properly equip our inland waterways with enough and adequate security, it will also guarantee life or property of people that live around the area. And of course, the travelers, those who want to go by water, will also have confidence in the water transportation system.
All right, let's now turn attention to Benue State. You are from Benue, you represent Apa Agatu, and we know that, when people hear Agatu, some events, some incidents really just come to mind where there was some level of is it disunity now, conflict, between farmers and herders there. Talk to us about what the situation is now and efforts on ground to ensure peaceful coexistence.
Yeah, that's true. It is obvious that quite more than a decade, we had the issue of herdsmen attack. And the whole thing started from Agatu. And when it was happening in Agatu, it looks as if there was something that Agatu people did wrong. And that was why the herdsmen were attacking us. At that point in time, the other part of the state felt it was Agatu issue, and people took it for granted. And the disaster was actually massive. It was a very massive disaster. More than half of the community were affected. They call it the Icho, comprises of Aila, place like Okokolo, place like Umikwidi, Edije, and all of that. They were completely sacked. This happened to be one community that used to have a lot of activity. They are very good in farming. Things were moving very fine until when this thing happened. And then at that time, there wasn't a serious commitment. But as time progresses, the thing now escalated to even other part of Agatu, which is around Okpanchenyi. And then as I speak with you currently, the matter has already taken over everywhere. There's no community in Benue State that have not have their own share of the activities and of this armed herdsmen. So, and of course, it's not just a Benue issue anymore, it's already a national issue, So, but I can say that we in Agatu, we were courageous, and when this thing happened, we tried to also be on our toes, and we did the needful. So, but what is on ground currently is not completely stopped, but to some very large extent, with the latest decision and, of course, the policy of government and the seriousness. You recall I was here some time ago and I made a call that there's every need for federal government to look into the issue of Benue when there was an attack in Rewata. And the day after, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu visited Benue State, and he made a very strong statement. He gave directive. Prior to this time, we will hear a situation whereby when this attack happened, some security agency will be telling you that they really don't have any directive to do anything. And of course, even before to this time, I also remember when the president visited Benue, when in the heat of some of these attacks, and the president said that we should just learn how to cohabit and live with people and all that. But when the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, visited Benue last time, he gave a very strong directive that those people who are actually the armed headers should be treated like a terrorist. And they gave a strong directive that they should go after them. And I think since that time, we have been experiencing relative peace in Pagatu and, of course, in Benue at large. So what is in force now? And, of course, the recent appointment of the Minister of Defense, his person of Christopher Gwambi Musa, retired, as the Minister of Defense, and he made some quite strong statement and pronouncement, and those pronouncements, I think, is sending a very strong signal to those people. I was happy when he said that the issue of open grazing is criminal, and that anybody who grazes openly is a criminal offense, and that is trespassing. When you trespass into somebody's land, of course, it's criminal. And of course, when he also said that the armed headers should be declared as a terrorist group and should be treated as such, those things gave us some level of confidence. So with that, I can say that there's some level. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Ojotu, we can go on and on with this, and we'll still have time for that. But at the moment, we do need to take a break. When we come back from that break, our conversation would continue. Please stay with us, everyone. This Morning returns in just a moment.
Indigbo, the moment has come. This is a call to belong, a call to participate, a call to take our place. The All Progressives Congress APC now begins e-registration across the southeast and to Indigbo everywhere in Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Osun, Ekiti, Ondo, Kogi and Kwara, Kano, Rivers State, wherever you live, wherever you work. This call is for you. Register at your ward or online. Become a part of the APC family. Get your APC membership card and your PVC to position Indigbo at the national level. Stand up. Register. Be counted. APC e-registration is on. Indigbo. Kanje Nihu. Join the mainstream. Join APC today. This message is brought to you by Prince Paul Ikone.
Thank you for staying with us. On This Morning, we are talking politics, security in Benue State, also taking a dive into the activities of the House of Representatives Committee on Inland Waterways. My guest is the chairman of the committee. He represents Apagatu federal constituents in the House of Reps. He's Ojema Ojotu. Mr. Ojotu, thank you so much for staying with us. Before we went on break, we were talking about security, the fact that you believe the situation has greatly improved, especially based on directives, stern warnings and statements from the president, from the Ministry of Defense and other persons involved in security. But let's talk about how the state is collaborating, is working to ensure that security is sustained. What is happening at the local level? What levels of support exist from the state governor now, Hassan Salia, working with local security operatives in the state to ensure that Benue State is safe for all?
Yeah, maybe I should take off from my locality. Just about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we convened a security meeting. I was invited to that meeting by my local government chairman, and in the meeting, all the stakeholders, the chiefs and the youth were there. And we unanimously took a decision that considering the way and manner these armed men come, attack and molest our people, and then they cut away with valuable property, we should, as a matter of consciousness, resolve that none of them should be allowed to come into our space at the moment. And that decision was a unanimous decision, and it was taken in the presence of the security personnel, and in line with what is on ground. And as a follow-up to that, we had what they call expanded joint stakeholder meeting of the APC, called by me, presided over by me, and we affirmed that decision. That is a PAG Gatuna met together, and we resolved that since it's very clear that these people will come with ill intention, with intention to kill, to rape, and to destroy our farm produce, which is, of course, is our livelihood, source of livelihood. So we resolve collectively that the security personnel and everybody that is in a position to stop these people from trespassing into their land should do the needful to ensure that they keep them off. So we took that decision at that level. And I'm also aware of the repeated effort of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Benue State, when, of course, he's the governor of the state, and he worked with Lieutenant, he worked with local government chairman and all that. And, of course, they work with the security personnel. And I also know that the security personnel majorly take their decision from the federal. And so, and of course, in the latest, since the president visited the cooperation, the interaction, and the way and manner, the engagement, the strategies have to engage some of these issues. I'm fully aware that the governor is doing that. I'm also aware of the effort he's also making to ensure that those who are in the IDP camp are also adequately relocated to their native home. So it's a job, like you said earlier, that all hands must be on the decks, more so that, as a civilian, you will not be able to take law into your hands. So we are relying majorly on the conventional security to ensure that they carry out the directive of the president and, of course, the directive of the new Minister of Defense. And, of course, they are having full support of His Excellency instead of logistics and other area to ensure that we have a very peaceful state. But I can tell you, as we are here today, that where we are today in terms of security in Benue is definitely not where we want to be. It's not, we can't say that we are sleeping with our two eyes closed, but we can say that what is happening currently now seems to be a little bit better than what it used to be. And I think if it is so, then I think somebody, particularly the governor of the state, is also, because sometimes he's not somebody who wants to do things and make it very loud. He's somebody that you can only see the result, and then you appreciate that somebody is doing something. So I want to believe that with the fact that we are getting it relatively better, and we want to believe that it will continue to get better. I want to believe strongly that we are actually on track, and the governor is doing his own bits.
All right, Mr. Ojoto, we have a caller already. George, he is calling from Ikeja. Good morning, George, and welcome to the program.
Please. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please, George. I can hear you.
Okay, thank you, and good morning to the church. I want to thank you for bringing him. I have a question for the guest. He said he's chairman of committee on waterways in the House of Reps. I wanted to find out from him, what is the relationship between his committee and state governments that run, that have regulatory agencies on waterways management? Because there have been many cases of water accidents on water, especially in the North Central. I remember about 2 months ago, on 2 consecutive occasions, more than 40 people got drowned when a boat capsized in Niger State. Just because they are not wearing those floating devices they are required to wear when on top of the water. So in regulatory agencies in those areas, what is the relationship between his committee and those places to ensure safety on our waterways?
Thank you very much, George.
You need to explain it.
Yes, he would respond to that. Thank you. Mr. Ojotu, the ball is in your court now.
Well, maybe let me put it clear to him that the committee itself is not the agency. When you say what's the relationship between the committee and the state that are also doing business within the water basin, we have what they call inland waterways. They call it National Inland Waterways Authority. That is an agency. This agency have MD, and they also have their staff, and they have chairman of the board. We, at our level as the lawmakers, we oversight what they do. And the oversight function is to go and see what they are doing and how they are doing it. And when they are doing it wrongly, we'll be able to tell them that they are getting it wrong. If they are doing it rightly, we'll tell them they are getting it rightly. But like I said earlier, inland waterways is just like the normal road transportation that you have. If you go to your place, there are some road that they say is federal government road. And that road, the federal government put eyes on it and do the needful. But you go to some other place, there are some local things. Not every road that the federal government can put their satellite on. So in the same vein, there's no way the inland waterway will be able to view all the inland, the inland waterways across the country. So that is where the state government, of course, government is one. Government and Nigeria is one country. So that is where the issue of collaboration and working together will come in. So the issue of regulatory agency, we have, like I said earlier, you asked this question, there are agencies that are within the waterway checking, what's it called, the roadworthiness of the boat and the competency of the boat drivers, and then even to ensure that the water where the boat are being passed are navigable. So those things are in place. And where the court has said it very clearly that the entire waterways in the country should be regulated by what? By the federal government, via the Inland Waterways Authority. But basically, when you are talking about government is one, the state government is a third of government, and so they work in collaboration. So that aspect of collaboration cannot be, taken away. And I also don't want to work on speculation. It is not on my table, and if usually when issues like that happen, I get a way of getting the information. If you say that 2 months ago that incident happened, I have not been able to see any information to that effect, and I don't like commenting on what I don't have a fact on. So to the best of my knowledge, I'm not aware of that, but I cannot tell you or rule out the fact that there can be, both mishap. Just like somebody cannot sit and say there will be no. Can't rule out the possibility of having an accident happening on the road. But I can tell you that we have been able to bring the issue of boat mishap to a bearing minimum. That I can tell you. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Ojotu. Well, there were actually some incidents. You mentioned, I didn't push for this because you mentioned that, yes, perhaps it was more frequent in the past, but now it seemed to have reduced to some extent. But yeah, just 3 weeks ago, there were cases of boat capsizing. You have in Jigawa, you hear about it happening in Yobe. So they are just really different incidents. And then it's important that citizens are talking about it to see how, what can be done to help the situation, especially when you find out that some of the reasons usually adduced for these incidents could be refusal or non-usage of life jackets, which is should be a core security requirement to board a boat. So, if more efforts could be put into getting operators of the boats to get their passengers to wear these life vests, that would make a lot of sense. Also, the issue of overcrowding, that happens a lot. But I know you spoke about efforts to make more boats available and to get more hands on deck to man these facilities. All right, let's talk briefly about politics. You started out in the PDP, Mr. Ojotu, but here you are in the APC. But there are those critics who say that, why did he leave the PDP? He should have stood there as a strong voice, speaking in the opposition and holding government to account. What would be your response to them?
Well, thank you very much. I can tell you politics is all about authoritative allocation of value. It's all about who gets what, when, and how. And in a democratic governance, we are interested in how much dividends of democracy you can give to your people. And again, the currency in politics is number. So I happen to come from Benue State, particularly I'm from Zone C. Zone C is actually the second largest tribe in Benue State, and in Nigerian context, we are minority, and we happen to be this minority that have benefited tremendously from the ruling government and ruling party. So
Mr. Jatu, Mr. Jatu, I would like to place you on hold for just a moment. Let's take this call, and then please let's remember where we stopped. The fact that Benue is in the minority, but they seem to have enjoyed quite significantly in this administration. Yeah. We have Thank God calling from Imo State. Good morning, Thank God. Welcome to the program. All right, the call ended. If you can call again, Thank God would sincerely appreciate it. So please, Mr. Jatu, over to you.
So like I was saying, if I want to take you down the memory lane, I will tell you that during the ruling party, when the PDP were in power and they were in control of this country, we, despite the fact that we happen to be one of the minority tribe in the country, we've been able to benefit tremendously, So, but coming to power of the APC government, I can also see that the Zone C have been able to also benefit tremendously. When the Buhari came into power, he gave the Minister of Agriculture to the late memory. And you know what that means? Minister of Agriculture is a very, very formidable and very influential position. So, and again, I'm also aware, I'm from Apaga, Tufera constituency. When I hear from, I also know that in 2022, the APC government also appointed a person of architect Sonny Togo Echono as the ES of TEDFON. And that position to me, if I want to equate, I want to measure that position in my own way, I would say that thing is it's almost like more than 4 ministers combined because of the impact and the effect somebody in that office can do. And of course, the man who in that position was able to give us Open University in Nagatu, where I'm representing. We were able to have a College of Education, Odugbo, that is federal government presence. And I know how he also facilitated the establishment of Mopu 80 in Odugbo. And there's so many persons he was able to give them employment and all that. So, and then coming down, I can tell you that even within at the state level, the state government has been able to also give the Commissioner of Education. We have the Commissioner of Education in the zone. We have Commissioner of Finance. We have Commissioner of Health. We have Commissioner of Water Resources. Those are very, very strategic and sensitive ministry in the state. I used to be Commissioner of Youth and Sport, and sometimes when we are in the ESCO, when you see Commissioner of Education, Commissioner of Health, Commissioner of Water Resources presenting their memo, you'll be wondering whether you're Assistant Commissioner. So those positions has actually, this present government have been able to do that. And again, right. I told myself, one of the major problems we are having, in the
Mr.
zone.
Jatu, yes, okay. We will talk about the problem. We need to take this break. It's constant, and when we return from the break, we will take it from there. Please stay with us, everyone.
From the beeping mainframes of the 1960s to the smartphone in your pocket, and now machines that can think, learn, and speak like us. This is Techni Fire. Hello and welcome. I am Dr. Aruwa Joy. On this show, we connect the dots between the past, present, and the future of technology. We revisit the genius of yesterday's breakthroughs, the microchip, the internet, and the first robot arm. And we dive into tomorrow. AI that can create art, machines that can heal the body, and tech that's reshaping how we live and work. Every week, we explore where we have been, where we are, and where we are going. This isn't about gadgets. It's about the people, the possibilities, and the power of imagination. Welcome to the conversation. Welcome to the future. Welcome to Techni Fire.
It's this morning, and my guest is still with me. Mr. Ojotu, before the break, you spoke extensively about what this administration or what your state has been able to, is it to get now or to become under this present administration? But you also spoke about you were trying to talk about the challenges, or is it the problems now? If you would just take it from there.
Okay, maybe just a little setback. You know, you were trying to say that what informed my decision to be in APC, and I was trying to give the position. You know, so now I also want to let you know that there's a wrong notion that is going on, that this present APC government is not being fair to the Duma as a people, and of course my constituency in particular. I think that notion was a wrong one. Because if you look at it from the federal, I've told you already, one of the major problems our people are actually talking about is the issue of insecurity. And of course, we have, Tukpo is the ancestral home of Idoma. If you go to Tukpo, maybe like a year ago, and begin to pass through that road, if they tell you to have anything to do with that town, you will actually not want to do it because of the state of the road. But as I speak with you, the federal government, led by APC, is doing a very fantastic job in that place. In fact, everybody will want to live in Otukpo by the time they are done with what they are doing there. So that is the federal government. And again, there's the politics in Benue State. People don't get this in right, and they work with rumor and just fake news. You know, it has been established long before now that by the time, of course, because of our number, and I usually say that this game, the currency in this game is actually number. It has been a principle that by the time the government is formed, the governor, all this while, has been a chief person because of the number. And of course, we have been producing deputy governor. At a point, we're also bringing SAG. It looks as if it was our own slot. But it came to a time, I think, during His Excellency Governor Samuel Utom, there was a change, a shift, I can say a paradigm shift. When we were producing SAG, we were not having head of service. But it got to a point that we started producing the head of service, and then the position of the SAG, we lost it. You know, that pattern started right from the time of PDP, and that is what is even maintained to this present APC. You know, so but there's a notion, some person will, yes, it's true that in the last election that happened, because I happened to come from Napaga too, and we had somebody that was running for the position of deputy governor, and there was a lot of sentiment and all that. The kind of vote that we gave to PDP, I mean APC then, was not that, easy, because if I had given that vote, we would have been here. So the question clearly remained that despite that, the present governor has been able to give the commissioner of education to Agatu. To me, that's enough sentiment. As I speak with you right now, there's a road, tie road that is going on from Obagaji, which is the headquarters of Agatu, about 43-kilometer road that is connecting to Keda, Egba, Omikwidi, Edeje, Okokolo, and is busting out in Agagbe. So and when that road is done, it's a...
Yeah, so you believe that, what matters is that the constituency is well represented in government, whether it is at the state level or at the federal level. Is that it?
Yes, of course. What's informed my decision is that when I see that pattern, and I believe that if I am here, Like I told you earlier, the greatest problem of the people of Zunsi and Apagato in particular is the issue of the incessant attack by the armed headers. And now that we have, in fact, when the present government was trying to form government, the fear has been that when they have Muslim ticket, it then means that we are going to be consumed. But when the man came, he was bold enough, and he's bold enough, and he's addressing the issue of insecurity. And the way and manner, especially with the appointment of the current Minister of Defense, I want to believe very strongly that in no distant time, they should be able to address the issue of insecurity in my place. And I'm using this opportunity to call on the federal government and particularly the president of this country. If he can deal with the issue of insecurity in Apag at federal constituency, he don't need to come there to campaign. The people who on their own, use their own resources, their farm produce and all, they can sell it and campaign for him. And he's doing it, and we're encouraging him to do it, to ensure that we have control of our land, to ensure that we can sleep in our own land, in our own houses, to ensure that our people can go to school. You know, so before now, I can tell you that Christmas Day, people don't even travel home. Sometimes you feel that on that day will be attacked. Sometimes you be in church, you just see people that were attacked. And so those things have been, to some very large extent, reduced to a minimal level. And so if we continue like this, then we have no other choice but to continue to support the APC government. And as somebody who wants the
let's
best
take
for my
this
people,
call. Yes, let's take this call. We have Dari Adebanjo calling from Kaduna. Good morning, Pastor Adebanjo.
I think mine is just an admonition that over there in Benue, let everybody close ranks and work together for the progress of the state. If there is division, definitely you'll find skirmishes. Or if you resolve collectively that Benue must work, it will definitely have to work. When you something that is wrong, all of you should come together and speak with one voice and come together. Unless there is a crack, then the blizzard you find will find a way of going in. You've gone through a lot in Benue, so all hands must be on deck to make Benue what you used to know as Benue. God bless you and have a peaceful morning.
Thank you very much, Pastor Adebanjo. So he's admonishing that everyone, close ranks for the growth and development of Benue. We're still talking politics, Mr. Ojoto. 2027, I know, is still at least a year away, but you will agree that the momentum is already growing. We are seeing alignments and realignment. And as a matter of fact, in your state, Benue State, and specifically in your constituency, some names are popping up already. There are so many people who are looking to take you out of that seat. I mean, if you're not seated properly, they just want to take you out of the system and get in. And one of them actually has been speaking. No, she's been speaking in recent time. And she's Joy Ame Okpamno, and she hopes to unseat you at the next general election. Do you feel threatened by her ambition?
Well, I don't know. This is what they call free market or free marketing. But I'm here today to tell you that I have just spent roughly 3 years in this office. And before my emergence as House of Rep members representing my people, I know exactly what was their cry. One of the issues is that they want somebody that can stand and articulate their issue, both in the floor of the House and, of course, in a platform like this. I know that the people they also want somebody that will be able to address issues. I came and I declared state of emergency or what they call human capital. That they're able to also empower human beings so that they can compete favorably. As I talk with you right now, I have been able to take a 4.5 asphalt road. In the history of Apag Federal Constituency, nobody has been able to do even 100-meter asphalt road in that community. As I speak with you, I've been able to secure job opportunity for 42 persons. And I know people who are serving in this office and they left without even employing their own brothers. They are serving this office without even employing even 3-4 persons that they can point and say, this is what we have done. I have come to this house. I happen to be the first Apag person to come to the House of Rep for the first time, become chairman of a committee. As I talk with you, there is a bridge that I'm constructing. It's in hundreds of millions that is connecting the river around area with the inter area. As I speak with you now, I'm giving scholarship to over 658 people. And this is something that has never happened. As I speak with you right now, I've empowered people with keke napep in large number. I have done that motorcycle. These are things. I have flooded the whole place with a solar street light in just less than, what's it called? And as I speak with you right now, I have been able to sing borehole in so many communities. People don't even know that borehole used to work in my area before. But now if you go to so many communities, they can even do pure water. I have been able to do dam for people who don't even have hope of having water. They have dam that they use. They are talking of doing block industry. As I speak with you right now, I am the most accessible. I visit my people very often. Even before I left PDP people had already endorsed me as a sole candidate. And I just had a expanded stakeholder meeting of APC just 2 weeks ago in Apa, when the entire people in that meeting passed a vote of confidence on His Excellency Bola Tinubu, and they also passed a vote of confidence on His Excellency the Governor of Benue State, and they passed a vote of confidence on myself.
Mr. Jatu, let's take a moment.
It will be
let's take a moment to attend to this call. Kromada, I hope I got that correctly, from Delta State. Good morning and welcome to the program. When you join us, please help us pronounce that name properly. I need you to please turn off your device, please, Kromada, so that we can hear you.
Okay, good morning, Honorable. I have 2 questions for you.
Please. That's right.
Yes. Good morning. Are you hearing me? Hello, good morning.
We can hear you, please.
Yeah, I have 2 questions for the Honorable. One, do you believe that there is genocide, Christian genocide in Benue State? And 2, this is a general question. Do you think that we should continue with this bicameral legislation in Nigeria? Because to me, it seems like both houses, people are not really doing anything. You just go there, sit down, and collect our money. Thank you.
Thank you, Kromada. Well, I see you smiling, Mr. Jatu.
Let me start with the last one. And to say that, the problem we have in this country is the fact that we don't even appreciate what we have. We stay here, we just rely on street information, and we draw our conclusion, and then at the end of the day, and we think that's the best. I just returned from the UK just day before yesterday. In fact, I came yesterday early in the morning. And when I was there, I was with my friend. And my friend told me that if I'm walking on the street, I should hold my phone very well. That people here, they can snatch phone. And that's where he was trying to drop me off. He said that strangers have suffered mercilessly in the hand of somebody. So when I heard that, my thought before now was that if you're in UK, like you know, is like one of the most peaceful countries. You don't hear anything about crime. They are not threatening anybody. Nobody is threatening them. And you think if you go to UK, there will be no crisis. But I was shocked when they said that you cannot even move at a certain point with your phone. They will snatch it. But when you stay here, it looks as if Nigeria is the worst country and things are going on. And they practice, what do they practice? They practice parliamentary system of government. They have the king, and they have a parliament, and the parliament, they have prime minister that is also the one running the country. So most of the time, the problem we have in this country, we condemn what we have. And that is what we are very good at doing. We don't appreciate, people don't know. I was there when my same friend told me that there are some African countries that you go, that you don't see toilet, you don't see anything like in school, that they go there for some intervention and all that. Myself, I have also traveled, and I've seen, when you travel out of this country, go to US, almost everybody they have peaceful. And the little things, they are taking somebody's life. And we stay here and we say that is the best system and all that. So we should be able to appreciate what we have. And what we go through, like the man who is talking now, you are a father, and you have your children. You do your best to ensure that your children go to school. And when they finish when they go to school, they expect certain thing from you. You don't give them, they say you are bad, maybe your wife. There's certain allowance you need to give. And then when you don't give the next, you say you are the worst husband. That's the kind of thing.
You believe that the bicameral legislature is what we need?
It's perfect. We are doing very well. And we are making progress tremendously. For somebody to sit down and say you should be scrapped, they are not doing anything. If you are not doing anything, you will not be where you are. It's because somebody is doing something. That's why we have the country that we have today. The wisdom we use in what's it called, in House of Rape, to ensure that we manage Nigeria when there are crises with our intervention. Sometimes
All right, Mr.
the pressure will matter the listen.
All right, I hear you. We are wrapping up the conversation.
The laws that we're enjoying today, that make it very well.
Yes, we are wrapping up the conversation. What is a message to your constituents?
What is
your message to your constituents? They are watching you now and they're wondering, just like the Kromada that called, what is Mr. Jotu doing? What does he hope to do to make Akpagatu better than it has been in the past? What would you say to them?
Well, my message to my constituent at this point in time is to appreciate them, to thank them for giving me the opportunity to represent them. And I want to also use this opportunity to thank them for the enormous love they have actually expressed. I happen to come from a place whereby little things is appreciated. And I know what I'm doing for the people is highly appreciated. So, but what I want to tell them is that the only way we can actually make progress as a people, just one, the whole country, we have just one constituency. The only way we can make progress is for us to appreciate your own and appreciate the effort somebody is putting up. Sometimes Yoruba and Hausa people seem to get it right. You hardly see, even the Hausa man in my village, he knows how to say, Shey Buhari. That is the sentiment that they have. A Yoruba person always feel that their own is their own. So we that don't have this kind of advantage these people have, we should be able to celebrate our own. We should be able to appreciate what sometimes some persons, you are doing something bigger than somebody. They will not commend you for what you are doing. They will look for what somebody else is doing somewhere, and they begin to bring it just to ridicule you. For instance, as I speak to you, I'm doing just a minute. I'm doing I'm constructing asphalt road in 3 different locations. When you put the cost of that asphalt road together, that money can buy up to 70, transformer. But you see somebody celebrating a member who is giving transformer to his people, and that person is not sensitive enough to appreciate the fact that this guy is doing an asphalt road.
All right, Mr. Jotu,
more expensive
you will agree also, Mr.
So those are some of the issues.
You will agree, Mr. Jotu, that it's the duty of the people to hold their elected representatives to account, to ask questions, and that's exactly, I believe, is what they're doing. And when you do well, they commend you. And when they feel there is more that needs to be done, they would also call your attention to it. Thank you very much for talking to us on this morning.
Absolutely.
I've been speaking with Ojema Ojotu, member representing Apagatu constituency in the House of Reps, and he is the chairman, Inland Waterways Committee. Thank you so much for your time on the program.
Happy for having me. It's my pleasure.
That's our show for today. Thank you for watching. You can watch a repeat broadcast at 4 a.m. Join us tomorrow for another packed edition of This Morning. I am Abosede Adeni Adremi. Enjoy the rest of your day.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Are you ready for a clearance sale deal that will transform your kitchen? Tired of spending endless hours in the kitchen, struggling with bulky appliances? Cooking should be a delight, not a chore. Tired of messy cleanups from kitchen tools that never seem to perform as expected? Do you wish there was a single solution to handle all your blending, chopping, and grinding needs? Introducing the CookX 4-in-1 Blender, the ultimate kitchen tool to revolutionize your cooking. It's a food processor, mixer, grinder, and blender, all in one. The incredible CookX 4-in-1 Blender comes with 3 versatile cup sizes, each tailored to handle a specific task perfectly. The CookX 4-in-1 Blender elevates your cooking, allowing you to effortlessly create truly smooth smoothies. No more stopping, stirring, or straining. Just smooth, consistent results every time. This adaptable blender includes 3 convenient cup sizes, each designed for specific tasks to simplify your life. The 650 milliliter cup, the 450 milliliter cup, the 1.8 liter cup. Additionally, the CookX 4-in-1 Blender features a convenient filter, allowing you to create smooth, pulp-free juices. The secret of the CookX Blender lies in its 800-watt motor, combined with a precision extractor blade, providing providing the power to transform ordinary foods into extraordinary dishes. And with multiple speeds, you get complete control over any recipe you create. Savory stews, delicious egusi in just 10 to 30 seconds, perfectly blended beans for akara or moi moi in 1 to 3 minutes, and everything in between.
The CookX 4-in-1 blender has been a game changer for me. It takes the hassle out of meal prep and lets me whip up healthy treats for my family in no time.
The CookX 4-in-1 blender is the only blender I use in my kitchen. Its variable speed control lets me achieve the exact texture I need for each dish.
The CookX 4-in-1 blender is now available exclusively on ShopX TV. For a limited time, we're offering an exclusive clearance sale price with up to 50% off. Typically, you might pay up to 350,000 naira for a blender that doesn't even break down and pulverize stems, seeds, and skins. But call now and get the CookX 4-in-1 blender. Not for 250,000 naira, not even for 200,000 naira, but just 100,000 naira only. That's a saving of over 120,000 naira. Incredible! And that's not all. Call the number on your screen now or scan the QR code to order the CookX 4-in-1 blender, and we'll also deliver the CookX 4-in-1 blender to your door for free. But hurry, this clearance sale deal is for a limited time only. Stock is running out fast, so don't miss this opportunity to upgrade your kitchen at an unbeatable price.
Proceeding is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Muhammad Ali was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky on January 17, 1942. His birth name was Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. He began training as an amateur boxer at age 12, and at 18 he won a gold medal in the light heavyweight division at the 1960 Summer Olympics and turned professional later that year. In his early years as a professional, Clay was more highly regarded for his charm and personality than for his ring skills. He sought to raise public interest in his fights by reading childlike poetry and spouting self-descriptive phrases like float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. On February 25, 1964, at age 22, he pulled off a major upset, defeating Sonny Liston to win the World Heavyweight Championship. That same year, he shocked the boxing establishment again by denouncing his birth name as a slave name and formally took the name Muhammad Ali, which was given to him by his spiritual mentor Elijah Muhammad, leader of the Nation of Islam. For the next 3 years, Ali dominated the boxing arena. Muhammad Ali retired from boxing in 1981 and focused on his religion, philanthropy, and activism. In 1984, he made public his diagnosis of Parkinson's syndrome, which some reports attributed to boxing-related injuries, though he and his specialist physicians disputed this. He remained an active public figure globally, but in his later years made fewer public appearances as his condition worsened and he was cared for by his family. Ali was chosen to light the Olympic flame at the start of the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta, Georgia. He died on June 3, 2016.
Every weekday on Business Nigeria, we uncover the secrets of the financial world.
We analyze the stock market, shares, bonds, and the thrilling world of cryptocurrency.
Facts matter. Our team dives deep to separate fact from popular opinion.
We simplify complex government policies as it impacts your everyday life, helping you navigate the ever-changing financial landscape.
Watch Business Nigeria every weekday at 2 p.m. only on TVC News. First with breaking news.
There is always more to a story than the screaming headline. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able